Alright, so in the last video that I made on my Notion daily template, essentially the template that I go through, I fill out, stuff I need to do every single day, and then there's stuff that I do every single day that doesn't change, and then I have checklists for whatever I'm working on at the moment, for any gear that is pertinent. For example, the project is focused on MMA for the next month or so. So a lot of the template is filled up with gear and equipment checklists for that. But something that I had been talking about last time I showed my template was how I had a manual section here for tracking what daily book I was reading. So something that I'm trying to do is listen to audiobooks as much as I possibly can, uh, to become informed and as knowledgeable as possible, to be able to consume as much useful information and then be able to analyze it and understand it as possible. So what the problem there was is that every single day I would have to go in, and if I was hitting my goal of finishing a book every single day, I would have to go in every single day, and I didn't have this, and I'd essentially have to just type in every single day what book I was reading. So something that I mentioned in that video is how I was working on a system to automate that, and that's what I want to showcase here. I have automated using Notion, which is this, Goodreads, which is here, and then Zapier, which is here, to be able to automate all this, so that I don't have to do it myself, so that I have more time to focus on more important stuff than doing, something that's really manual here that can be automated easily. So essentially, what this system does is it's a database built in Notion. So you can see here, I have several different tabs for the filter. So currently reading, to read, and then I have books that I've already read, and then this just shows all of them. For whatever reason, it didn't import everything um, that I've read for the entire project. It only imported a couple of random books for whatever reason. So there's still some kinks in this system, but for now, it's doing a good enough job. So essentially, what it'll do is, if we go over to Goodreads, it'll take my profile, and what I did is imported my RSS URL or whatever it's called. It's usually down here at the bottom of the screen, but for whatever reason, it's not popping up for now. But there's an RSS that you can take. You can bring it into Zapier here. What it'll do is you put it in this configure tab here. It'll search for any new item, which it did here, which was the 4-hour work week, and it'll see that there's a new item in the feed, and then it'll push it over to the Notion database. It'll create a new database item, and then it'll add all the info that you have set up. So for me, I just have the status and then the author, and then there's also the link to the Goodreads actual profile as well. So if I click on this, for example, it'll bring me to that specific page in Goodreads, and then it has the date added as well. And then the other thing with this database is that I can write notes on each of these books, and then I can reference them back at any time. So you can kind of do this in Goodreads, although it's kind of more like a review feature. And you have to kind of, update it if you want to, add something new. So I'd rather kind of have my own notes that also I can maybe make private, which is what this makes possible with Notion. So for example, if I open up here, I already have some notes. I just started re-listening to this book, and he talks about something called Pareto's Law, which is the 80-20 rule. And then if we go into this book by Elon Musk by Isaac Walterson, I already have some notes here. Elon's surge technique, which I've talked about in the past, having a maniacal sense of urgency is the operating principle. And then I haven't finished these notes because I haven't finished rereading the book. But you can see how useful this can be. And this essentially automates the entire process of being able to, have that item populated in Goodreads, because Goodreads is the main platform that I use for tracking my books, and then I can also have it integrated with Notion as well, so I can always see what books I'm reading at the current moment. Um, and then I'm also able to quickly add any extra notes that I want to at any point. And I'm always looking for stuff like this that would otherwise take maybe 5-10 minutes of my time that I can just, you know, with some brains, automate it so that now I don't have to spend 5 or 10 minutes of my own time. So even if I don't do a whole lot throughout the day, because sometimes I'm extremely inconsistent, and even if I don't actually end up doing a whole lot throughout the day, because I have all these systems and automations in place, one of my actions actually has, let's say 10 different uh, it finishes 10 different little tasks rather than, me just being lazy, doing one thing, and then those 10 things never happen because they're all automated. I can really multiply my output. And this is a reoccurring theme that I've run into that I've been able to identify. And the book that was able to make me identify this is a book called The Almanack of Naval Ravikant. It should be in this list, because I did read it and it is on my Goodreads profile, but for whatever reason it didn't get imported. But that's a very good book, and it kind of goes into how important coding is. But the good thing about Zapier here is that it's a no-code alternative. I'm an extremely bad coder. I always forget how to do very basic stuff, and pretty much basic stuff is all I can do in the first place. Um, but Zapier takes the coding out of the equation and allows you to essentially get the same outcome with a no-code solution. So hopefully you found this helpful, and I'll see you real soon.